Well, good morning. It's Friday morning, and today we're going to do something a little different. Going to read from Matthew 28:11 through 15. While they were going, behold, some of the guard went into the city and told the chief priests all that had taken place. And when they had assembled with the elders and taken counsel, they gave a sufficient sum of money to the soldiers and said, "Tell people his disciples came by night and stole him away while we were asleep. And if this comes to the governor's ears, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So they took the money and did as they were directed. And this story has been spread among the Jews to this day. So now this is Easter evening. This is right at the day of the resurrection, according to Matthew. Of course, Matthew shortens up that whole after the resurrection period into a day or so. But at any rate, the guards realize his body is gone. They don't know what to do. They can't explain it. So they go and they tell the priests, and the priests basically bribe the guards. They, well, just say his disciples came and you were sleeping and they stole his body. And that's the story that Jerusalem was told by the priest. That's not the story that we know. That's not the story that the church proclaimed, but that's the story that the church's enemies proclaimed at the time in Jerusalem. Some people still believe that story, so there you go. But what Matthew does here is sort of say, well, this is the reason this story is told. So if you've heard that story, well, those guards were bribed to say that. They didn't really believe that. That's not what really happened. That's what they were told to say. And so he's explaining that story that you may have heard. He's explaining why people would tell you that. And he's saying, yeah, but that's not the truth. The truth is that he's risen. So we're getting both sides of it here. We don't get that in the other Gospels. And so I think Matthew's the one where it says when the resurrection, when it happened that morning, the guards became like dead men. So they sort of passed out and they were laying there, stricken somehow, asleep. And they didn't experience the risen Jesus, and so they didn't experience this stuff. They just woke up and he was gone, and they said, well, something happened. We don't know what. Well, something did happen, something unexplainable, the resurrection. And nobody can explain it or say what happened or why it happened or how it happened. It just happened. It's just a thing. And so for Jesus' enemies who want him to be safely dead in the tomb, that's an issue. You've got to have bones. You've got to have a body. You've got to have some evidence that he's over there. He's dead. And that was always the early church's sort of position. Well, you don't think any of this is true, then produce his bones. Show us where you buried him. No one's ever been able to do that. No one's ever come up with anything like that. And so, because there isn't anything like that, but that's why. So, what Matthew will do, which we'll look at, I guess Monday, is have him take them out of the city, and then he rises into the sky and at the ascension. And there's several ascension stories in the New Testament. We'll look at those next week. For now, have a great weekend, and we'll see you. I guess we'll see you Saturday morning, so we'll see you tomorrow. But have a great Friday.